Do you feel like you're chasing success? Do you feel like you have to be better than everybody else in order to be allowed in the room? Do you usually feel like you're worse than everybody else and try to hide that behind overachieving, overperforming, trying extremely hard? Well, the most likely you're basing your self worth on other people's perception of you. You might think to yourself, oh, it's not that bad. I'm a hustler. I'm a grinder. I just really work hard on achieving my goals. What if I told you that you're basically trapped in what other people perceive of you? What if it's not your own goals that you're chasing, but other people's expectations? And you're actually being a slave to what other people want you to be. If anything of this sounded familiar, I'd suggest you to keep watching this video because in today's video, I'm going to explain to you why you feel this way and how to act differently, how to actually achieve your own goals instead of being a puppet to everybody else's expectations. So, in order to understand the issue at hand, we first have to differentiate what your sense of self is all about. So, there are three parts of the self defined by Carl Rogers. First of all, there's self image. Self image refers to how you see yourself at this point in time, okay? So, this is basically the concept of yourself that you have right now. Then there's the ideal self. This is the version of yourself that you kind of put on a pedestal. This is who you want to be like. Okay, this is what all of these self help YouTubers are talking about when talking about this ideal version of yourself. This is just who you could be. It's not something that actually exists, okay? It's an idea. It's something theoretical, something you're striving towards. And it's important to have because this is what keeps us striving, keeps us getting up every day, keeps us, trying to improve. This is good. And the third thing or the third part of this construct that is the self is self worth. And self worth or self value basically arises from the other two. So we all experience a level of incongruency when it comes to yourself right now and yourself that you would like to be, your highest self, And basically, the degree to which these two differ make up your self worth. The more different they are, the lower your self worth is. And here's the problem, okay? When you base your self worth on other people's expectations, on objective measures of success, when your ideal self is this shining personality that is liked by everybody, that is always winning, it's extremely difficult for you to reach this version of yourself. Why? Because it's uncontrollable. A lot of the times, we cannot control whether we win. Okay? That's kind of the whole thing. Why does it feel so good to win? Because it's difficult. And if you basically define your highest self, define the highest version of yourself by this winning, by this being successful, regarding or concerning objective measures, it becomes almost impossible to reach this standard. And when we think back to this theoretical background that I just gave you, if it becomes so difficult to reach this ideal version of yourself, in consequence, your self image right now and this highest version of yourself are always going to be miles apart, which then results in you having a low self worth. Do you see the problem here? The problem with basically putting or letting other people's expectations, other people's concepts of success rule your highest version of yourself is not that it's just uncontrollable. It's also that you kind of lose your own perception of value. You're out of sync with what you want. If we're talking in extremes, you're kind of a puppet to what other people want you to be. You're living to entertain and you're always like a dog thriving for other people's validation. Do you see how miserable that life is? How pathetic it is? Okay, so this is a pretty shitty state to be in. Basically dependent on other people's validation. But how did it get this way? How did we become dependent on what other people wanted us to be. Basically, somewhere along the way, whether it was in childhood or in adolescence or fairly recently, you have started to believe that your value is dependent on making other people happy or making other people respect you. So you have given your power to other people. You have allowed someone to convince you that you're not worthy just by being who you are and by following your own goals, but you're only worthy if you're achieving their goals, achieving what they think is success. The truth is, no matter how hard you try to prove your worth to another person, you're never going to be good enough. And this is a harsh truth. It's hard to accept, especially if you spend years and years of your life trying to be liked, trying to be successful, trying to be respected in the eyes of others. Truth is, most people don't know what they want themselves. So if you base your worth on what they think about you, you see how unstable, how uncertain that is. And the cruel thing about our minds is we like what is called intermediate reward. We don't like to be rewarded every single time we do something. We like it when it's unpredictable. And this is exactly what this thriving for other people's validation is giving us. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we get praised, sometimes we don't. And this is what keeps us stuck in this circle of trying to be more and more every time. The truth is, if you tie your self-worth to other people, you're just going to end up disappointed. Swallow that. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's the truth. When you depend your self-worth on other people, they also have the power to break you, and you can't give them that power. You don't need validation. You need to know your worth. So what you have to do once you realize this is you have to accept the fact that people are hollow. People are uncertain. People change their perception. People change their opinion of you, and you can't tie your self-worth to that. It's hard because it's an anchor for some of us, especially if we are considered conventionally successful, especially if we get a lot of praise from others, if we get a lot of positive feedback, you can become addicted to that. But still, you have to realize that it is not stable and that you have to let go of this approval-seeking behavior in order to truly become happy. What I'm asking you to adopt will no doubt be hard, but I assure you it is achievable. Just like anything, this approval-seeking lifestyle that you might have been living is something that you can unlearn as well. You can't be what you're not. You can't win all the time, but you can be the best of you, and you can try to reach your own version of your highest version of yourself. And maybe right now, you don't really know who that is because you listened to what other people wanted you to be for so long, whether it were your parents, your friends, your partner, whoever. But once you actually start letting go of this need to make everyone around you happy and like live up to their standards, you're going to start hearing your own voice again, hearing or knowing what you want for yourself. And your task, if we really break it down, is simple. Live your life. Live your own life. Take back your power and don't let other people dictate what you do, but let your free will determine what you do. You don't need to prove your worth all the time, okay? You just need to remember it. I hope you guys could take something from this video, and I see you guys in the next video. Bye.